Hello and welcome for the love of food. So there's been a lot of hubbub, so to speak, on the internet about butter. So I've always just bought store brand butter, all right? I'm gonna look here and show you the ingredients. But basically it says it is pasteurized cream, salt. It says contains milk. Okay, that doesn't sound so bad to me. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna make my own butter because I think it would be better for us. So I went out and I bought some pasteurized heavy cream. Now let's look at the heavy cream. Its ingredients, and I'll show them to you there so you can see. It says, ingredients, cream, less than 0.5% of gellan gum or gellan gum, Gellan gum, contains milk. Okay, what is this gum that's in here? I know it's less than 0.5%, but is this going to be better for me? Because now this has something in it that this didn't have. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused. So what I do know is that you can buy milk from a farm, not for human consumption milk, and you can make butter out of it. And there's a lot of people doing that as well. So that is not pasteurized, and that's a choice that you make whether you're going to use it or not use it. So there's lots of information out there. I just wanted to point out that I thought I was doing something better, but I don't know that I am. So always read your ingredients. Regardless, I'm going to go ahead and whip this up. Let's turn it into butter and see how easy it is to make, and we can kind of go from there. Maybe I can find some non-pasteurized or some cream that doesn't have that gellan gum or gellan gum, however you say it, in it. But we're going to try and give you some information and see if we can help. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started and just whip this up and see how it turns out. All right, so I have my whisk attachment set into my mixer. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're going to be able to cover the bowl up with some plastic wrap, because this is going to kind of be a messy process. Let's go ahead and pour this cream in. I'm going to use the whole thing. And now what I'm going to do is lower my top, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some saran wrap around to keep the splashing down to a minimum. The first time that I made butter, I didn't realize what an important step this is to wrap and protect the area around your blender, because this makes a mess as it separates and pulls away. Not now. This isn't the part you have to worry about. Right now, we're just whipping like you normally would. Now, when you do wrap your blender, make sure, your mixer, make sure that you give yourself some leeway here so you can get at the speeds and that you can lift it up when you want to check or taste. So, we're going to come back in. You can see we've turned that speed up. Right now, the consistency is almost turning into the beginning of whipped cream. And that's great because we want this to get even creamier. We want to separate the cream and the curd, so the milk from the curd, so to speak. See how that texture is changing? It's going just past whipped cream. And that's what we want. In a moment, we're going to start reducing the speed to help contain the mess. But we want to whip those curds into shape right now. It's not quite butter yet. Again, the consistency here is changing and it's becoming more clumpy. That means we've passed the whipped cream stage and we are heading into the butter stage. The more clumps we get, the more liquid that will be released at the bottom. That's the buttermilk. And I'm going to turn down slowly because you can see right here we're starting to get some of that milk splattering. We want to keep turning it, but we don't want to we don't want to make a huge mess, right? If you listen carefully, you can hear it sloshing. And that is because we now have butter. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to carefully just give my protective saran wrap. Pull down, and then I'm going to lift this up so you can see. There it is, that beautiful butter. But we're not done. And I'm going to just let you look over inside the bowl a little bit. You can see all that milk at the bottom. That's buttermilk. That's gold right there, baby. But this butter, fantastic. The next step in the process is we want to salt the butter, and I want to mix that in. And then we also want to wash the butter. And why do we wash the butter? Well, we wash the butter for two reasons. One is because we want to make sure that we squeeze the last of that buttermilk out of it. And the other reason is that it helps to preserve the butter. So if you can eat it if you don't want to wash it. Like if I was going to serve this, I could serve it and we were going to use it all up tonight, that's fine. However, if you want it to last, you need to wash it, and I'll show you that process next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the buttermilk that exists right now, and I'm going to go ahead and get it into a mason jar. I'm going to go ahead and pour this through my wide mouth funnel. All right, I've got my butter back in the bowl now that I've removed the milk. And what I want to do is I just want to be able to mix in some salt. So I'm going to put in a half a teaspoon of salt to a teaspoon. This is a preference thing. You decide how much salt you want in your butter, if any at all. I'm going to grab the spatula, and I'm just going to get the butter out of the whisk here. And all we want to do now is mix in that salt. Then we'll give it a little taste and see what we think. Again, this can just be on a low speed. And then a high speed. And what I've noticed is I pulled a little bit more buttermilk out of that butter. See? So I can add that little bit of buttermilk to my container or not worry about it at all. Now is the step where we're going to wash the butter. So we're going to get a clean bowl and we're going to fill it with some ice and water. Let's go ahead and get the butter back out of the whisk. And we're going to be getting ready to wash it. What do I mean by washing it? What I mean by washing it is squeezing out all of that excess buttermilk. And because it's going to be something we do by hand, I'm going to go ahead and put on some food grade gloves just to kind of protect my hands and the butter. It's a messy job, right? So I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll be back to show you the washing. So now that I'm gloved up, I'm just going to take my little tasting spoon that I haven't tasted with yet. And I'm going to go ahead and just get the rest of that butter off my whisk. And then if you're thinking what I'm thinking, that when I get to the end of doing this, am I going to get a little taste of this butter? I sure am. I'm going to get as much of it off as I can. Try not to waste. But we're talking about just little bits now. All right, here we go. All right, I feel good about that much. All right, let's give this a little taste. It's gorgeous and has the right amount of salt in it for me. I like that. All right, so let's get to washing the butter. You can see we have all of our butter here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of cheesecloth. We're just going to go ahead and grab our butter. Going to make a little ball out of it, or a log, whatever we want to do. I think to fit the cheesecloth, this one looks like a log might work better. And we're going to wrap this up in the cheesecloth. We're going to get our bowl of ice water. And we're going to get this butter into the ice water. Now, what we want to do is we want to start squeezing it and kind of kneading it until that water gets really cloudy, because we're pulling all of that buttermilk out of there. And it's important for the butter to stay cold while you're working with it. So that's why the ice water. And I'm just massaging it a little bit. As you can see, I busted through my cheesecloth a little bit, so you don't have to do it too tight. Just a little bit. And just squeeze it. I don't know if you can see the cloudiness of the water. That'll show you how much more buttermilk we got out of the butter. Okay. I got a container here for my butter. We're going to go through the process of opening up our cheesecloth. Getting all of our butter out and into our container. It's lined with some parchment paper. Let's get all of it. And then we can set that aside, our cheesecloth. And now we can just press our butter into any shape that we would like. In this case, it's a square shape, but I'm thinking, you know, what would be nice is if I had some little turkey molds for Thanksgiving. That would be amazing. I could go ahead and add a flavor if I wanted to this, or I could simply just leave it as regular, plain old butter to put on the table. Entirely up to you how creative you want to get with this. But that is the process of making the butter. I'm going to get this into the fridge to chill for just a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll cut a little piece and we will take a taste. All right, so if you're thinking about making your homemade butter for Thanksgiving, now would be the time to go buy your cream. I want to show you, this is my butter, and we're going to put it on a plate so that it looks nice. But the one thing I want to do before I do that is I want to show you how much buttermilk we got. We got all this buttermilk and the butter from that 1 quart of cream. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on a plate, and I'm going to show you what it looks like, and we'll give it a taste. All right, here's my butter. It's lovely, right? And you can see it'd be really nice to be able to put this out onto the table for Thanksgiving. Cuts really nice and easy. And I'm going to go ahead and give this just a little bit of taste from my spoon, and we'll see how it came out. That butter is amazing. It's velvety, it's creamy. You want to make this. Don't buy a stick of butter from the store and put it on your Thanksgiving table. No, no, no. We could even make this a pretty shape still if I wanted to. So I may go to the store and get some little turkey molds. I don't know. We'll see. Next up, I'm going to use that buttermilk, and I'm going to make homemade biscuits. Stay tuned. Make sure you are hitting that like and follow button, and that you're getting on all our channels: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You never know what you're going to see. We appreciate you.